to talk to you about Veterans Day.
Yeah, now in the past, we've held our Veterans Day celebration back at the school. We've had veterans come in, we've celebrated with breakfast in the morning, have had speeches and gatherings in the LGI, but we can't do that this year.
Yeah, because of COVID, we need to do this virtually. So we're bringing Veterans Day to you here.
So the Veterans Day holiday is observed on November 11th, or the closest weekday to November 11th. If November 11th would happen to follow on a weekend, they typically move it to the next weekday or a weekday close to that November 11th date.
Why is Veterans Day on November 11th? The end of World War I, the Treaty of Versailles was signed in June, but there had been a ceasefire for 7 months. So if we go back 7 months from June, the ceasefire had started on November 11th. All right, so Woodrow Wilson declared November 11th to be Armistice Day.
Now, Armistice Day was the official end to World War I, and then President Woodrow Wilson designated that day to be in remembrance of all of those who served in the Great War. The traditional observation of Veterans Day in the early days, the earliest celebration of it, was to hold a moment of silence on 11/11 at 11 a.m.
So it's celebrated on the 11th month, the 11th day of that month. It wasn't until 1938 that they went back and declared it a national holiday. So Veterans Day has been celebrated for a number of years, but it wasn't until 1954, at the end of World War II, that they decided to amend the original legislation that called for Armistice Day, and they changed it to Veterans Day to recognize veterans from all wars.
All right, here we are at the Vietnam Memorial, and one of the things that people get confused about with Veterans Day is confusion between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Now, whenever you come to these monuments or memorials, you'll see a list of those people that have passed. But Veterans Day is more than that. It's not just to recognize those that have passed on, but it recognizes all those people that served during these wars in all the different branches that we have in our military. Well, hey, this year with Veterans Day, as we had stated, usually we meet down in the LGI and have the guest speakers and actually get to meet some of the veterans. But unfortunately, we couldn't do that this year.
So this year we're reaching out to them virtually. We've connected with 3 individuals who have served in the past and one who is currently serving right now. And we are very pleased to have them share their stories with you and for you to connect with them virtually as well. We have 2 community members, Mr. Nathan Everhart, who is the school nurse at James W. Parker Middle School, and Mr. Jeremy Dulesky, who is the IT director for the entire district here. They both live in the area. The 3rd individual is actually my cousin. It's Major Brittany Steenberg, and she's in active duty way out in California right now.
My name's Jeremy Dulesky, and I'm the IT director for General McLean School District. I have an office here at the middle school, and I went to high school here at General McLean High School. I graduated in 1994, and I enlisted in the Army directly out of high school. The men in my family have a history of military service, and I felt a strong call to serve. I chose to be a combat medic because I thought that one day I might like to be a doctor, and specifically a trauma surgeon. And I thought that this experience in the Army would give me a good idea of whether or not that was a career that was suited for me. I spent about 6 years on active duty in the Army and 2 years in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. In the Army, I had many experiences that I would not have had otherwise. I got to see many parts of the world and work with really cool equipment. I'm thankful for the opportunity that serving the Army provided for me and the experiences that I had and the added perspective that comes with military service. It's always been important to me that my job has a purpose and makes a difference for people. I'm happy that I was able to help people when they were in trouble, and I'm proud to have been able to serve my country.
Hello, my name is Brittany Steenberg. I'm a major in the United States Marine Corps. I've been serving on active duty now for 10 years. I'm currently stationed in Camp Pendleton, California. I knew I wanted to serve in the military from a young age. To me, it was always about being a part of something that was bigger than myself, a duty to protect my family, to protect the fellow Americans, and to me, I found that calling in the military. To serve, that's a choice. It's a conscious decision that we make to put others above oneself. In whatever form of service you find your calling, know that I thank you. It's not easy. It's hard. It's important work. You dedicate your time, your efforts, your whole self into a cause that you believe in. And it's rewarding. It's humbling. You make a difference in someone's life. And on this Veterans Day, if you see a veteran, please thank them for the choice that they made to serve our country, for the sacrifices that they and their families made to protect our way of life, right? And know that you're worth it. The American public is worth it. The American way of life is worth it. Thank you.
Why did I choose to serve in the military? Well, from the time I was a boy, I was aware that my great-great-grandfather served in the Civil War. I had a couple of great uncles that served in World War I. My stepfather served in World War II and was wounded in battle in the European theater. And my father served in the Korean War. And I had always grew up with a respect for what it took to have America, to have our society, and to have freedom. So I'd always had this piece of me that wanted to join in that legacy and to serve my country. Because I have a great life, and it takes a lot to have that. Second question, why is service important? Well, that you really can't have a civilized society or a society that's even a pleasure to live in unless people are looking out for each other. Unless someone is walking the boundaries and someone is guarding our freedom, you don't get to have the life that you get to enjoy today. So that's why service is important.
So we want to thank Mr. Everhart, Mr. Dulesky, and Major Steenberg for participating in our virtual Veterans Day program and sharing their thoughts. I think that one thing that really stood out to me and hopefully stood out to you is the ideas about service and why it's important to serve, and also having the opportunity to thank a veteran if you get a chance. And I'd like to personally thank all three of them and all veterans for their service.
Veterans gave their ultimate sacrifice. They served our country. What does it mean to serve? There's a saying that we see on a lot of memorials that is, freedom is not free. In order for us to be free, some of our population, they have to make that sacrifice, that ultimate sacrifice to serve our country. And when they serve our country, they're serving us as well. So what can we do to serve our veterans? How can we remember them this Veterans Day?
Some of the ways that we can honor our veterans is, number one, is to show up. Every year they have a Veterans Day parade, and it would be great if we showed up in mass to support those veterans. Now, I don't know if this year we're going to have one, but in future years you should consider going to the Veterans Day parade. It's an awesome event. You know, Roy Rogers once said that not everybody can be a hero. Sometimes we need people to sit on the curb and honor those heroes, and that could be you. Second thing you could do to honor our veterans is to fly a flag outside of your house and fly it correctly. There's a lot of rules to flying a flag, and you want to make sure that we follow those whenever we have the American flag out in front of our house. Another way that we can honor our veterans is to sit down and have a conversation with a veteran. We don't want to ask them specifics about their service, but maybe talk a little bit about why they joined the service or where they were stationed, places, things like that. Sometimes it's nice to just have a conversation and just sit back and listen, and we can learn a lot from people talking about the sacrifices that they made, being away from their families, their friends, during holidays and during wartime or peacetime. Any of these things are a great way for us to honor our veterans. So we'd like to challenge you to honor our veterans this year. Here's how you can participate and show your appreciation for veterans on Veterans Day. Create a window or door display at your home showing appreciation for local veterans. Write a thank you note to a friend or family member who served in the armed forces. Fly the American flag or create a yard display that honors our veterans. These are just some of the ways that you can show your appreciation. Wouldn't it be great if our local veterans drive through our neighborhoods and felt really appreciated this Veterans Day? We'd love for you to share your experience with us. Here's a couple ways that you can share your experience and encourage others to participate in Veterans Day as well. Take a photo of your display and share it to your social media accounts. Be sure to use the hashtag JWPMS We'd also love for you to email your photo to Mrs. Baca at KathleenBaca@generalmcclain.org. We'd love to create a slideshow of all of the different displays that you guys create.